We move back to the Northeast and New England, where not a terrible window, but relatively quiet. They brought in Ian Harkes from Hearts on a transfer. Another Harkes playing for Bruce Arena, who may not be playing for Bruce Arena much longer after some of the reports we've come out. Traded for Mark Anthony Kaye from Toronto and a 15-year-old homegrown midfielder, Peyton Miller. Out the door, Josie Altidore has been bought out, and Latif Blessing goes the other way in the Mark Anthony Kaye trade. I'll let you go first on this one because I'm kind of split. I'm not quite sure on this one.
I feel like there's more to this window than just the names in and out are showing. Obviously, there is the massive drama with Djordje Petrovic,
Yep.
which is, I mean, at this point, it's like a loss. And when we're talking about a loss of Djordje Petrovic, we are talking about a massive loss. We're talking about a loss of arguably the best goalkeeper in the league. So I feel like I have no choice but to somewhat factor that in. Granted, I am glad. I can't remember what the offer was. I feel like it was kind of low, if I remember right. Do you remember what the offer was for Petrovic?
It was not at the level that they wanted. I think it was single mil digits, and I think they wanted double. But that's my best guess.
It was from Forest too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Listen, I'm glad that they're aiming high on selling on him. I think he has a really good sell potential. He is a top goalkeeper in this league. They knocked it out of the park finding him. Granted, now they're kind of getting hurt by it because he's not playing anymore, and that definitely hurts a bit. The rest of the window, I
Here, there is one I forgot to add that popped up late here
yeah,
in Tomas
yeah,
Chanskele, the winger from Racing Club. Um, he's slipped under my radar.
I was just about to mention him. Very,
Nice.
very un-Bruce Arena-esque signing.
There's
He's
a
not
reason.
like
There's a reason he's not on the sideline anymore.
not an aging former USMNT star, so very unlike Bruce Arena. I don't see New England obviously is very strong, will almost certainly be a playoff team. I don't think that I mean, obviously they didn't lose much. Granted, I guess we're counting Petrovic as a loss. Blessing for K, I think probably at the least probably cancels each other out. I don't. There's so much stuff about Mark Anthony Kaye that I'm very confused. I mean, I always thought of him as a very solid MLS midfielder, and then all the Toronto fans were talking about how like all these issues with Mark Anthony Kaye, and now it makes me question that. Um, Blessing was obviously like a great kind of Swiss Army knife, do it all kind of guy. But I think Mark Anthony Kaye is a good like for like replacement. I think Harkes is a solid addition, very Bruce Arena esque, very fits into the team. Tomas Chunkale is going to be a very interesting one. Very curious to see how he's used in this team. I think he's got the highest ceiling out of all of them. Uh, and I guess I'll pick him as my best move of the window because I think he could have like high potential in this team. And to add, if he does pan out, to add him to Gustavo Bo, Vriani, and Carlos Heel would be unreal. That attack would be lethal. But overall, if I'm considering Petrovic as well in there, assuming this continues to linger on and there are continuous problems, I gotta say maybe like a B minus on the window or a B. I'm kind of in between the two. I just think if you lose Petrovic or if there's even if just the relationship gets damaged enough that they lose a ton of value on him, I think that hurts a lot.
I will tell you that they have absolutely ruined that already. Everything I'm reading about this is he is furious. He will never play for the team again. And he should have been sold when they had the chance. Because I'm sure they sold him the dream that they sell everybody. You're coming here for 2 seasons and we're going to sell you. And then when they said, no, we're not going to sell you, he lost his mind. Rightfully so. I don't know. Depends on what happened behind closed door. Here's the thing. You're second in the very much like FC Cincinnati. You're second in the East. You've got 28 goals conceded, 42 goals scored. I mean, you haven't lost a game at home. What more do you need to add, right? I think Ian Harkes was a good addition. Mark Anthony Kaye solidify that midfield a little bit. Thomas Chankale, let you pronounce that as you will. Not a bad move either. The team is solid back to front. The biggest one for me, as you mentioned, is Jordy Petrovic. I'm counting this as a loss. I don't think he plays for the team again, and they didn't get anything out of it. This is not good.
Yeah.
This is like what's the opposite of good?
Toronto FC.
There you go. I love it. Throw the gas on the fire. Good. Yeah, that is the biggest one. This is a terrible time for New England to implode. You're chasing in the Shield standings. Granted, you probably weren't going to catch him anyway, but you're chasing in the Shield standings. You're trying to solidify at least the second spot, because I'm pretty sure the second spot is now in this new Champions Cup or however they do it. Second spot matters. So now you're trying to hold off Philly and Nashville and Orlando. And you're going to go ahead and I get why they wanted to hold on to him, by the way, because of that push. However, if this is going to happen, you have to let him go. And I get you want to get the most out of it that you can. It's a business, and you have to look out for yourself, and I get it. But this is not a good look for them. Taking that into account, I don't think there was much to do with the Jordy Petrovic and the Bruce Arena on the sideline or not on the sideline anymore and all this other nonsense. C- because of all that extra stuff. You take away the Bruce Arena and the Jordy Petrovic, B-. But with all the other stuff going on, I'm not a fan of how they're doing this.
Yeah. To your point, if he definitely doesn't ever play for New England again and they lose all the value on him, then yeah, I would definitely drop it down to like a C- as well.
Right, because that's the whole point. You bring him in to replace Matt Turner. You go ahead and say, we are going to hold on one second. I'm just transferring my thing here. We are going to bring you in. We are going to make you, the number one guy. We're going to sell you on. You had money for him. What'd they pay for?
Like they paid like less than $1 million.
Yeah,
or
they
about
got
$1 million.
Let me see. 909K from a Serbian team. And you can flip him for 8 mil and you didn't because of you wanted 24 mil or something. Like, I get it, but I also don't get it.
To your point, also, maybe it's because they're a very strong team right now. They can push. I mean, it's unlikely, but they're still technically in like the Supporter Shield hunt, MLS Cup, Leagues Cup. Like, there's still a lot to play for in this season. Maybe they didn't want to lose him right now. I mean, maybe the money was part of it too, but I can kind of see it from New England's side. Like, losing him mid-season sucks. It would hurt a lot.
Right. Does it make sense to do what they did just to lose him for nothing? Let him, because he'll sit out and try and terminate his contract and whatever.
Well, maybe they didn't know that when they rejected it.
You don't get, this is not, high school soccer, buddy. They gotta know this. Anyways, excuse me. Yeah, that is another thing. We'll probably end up talking about that later.